know who was that who was taken to our table, and she said, "No, GLAMI is not my group."
Yeah, she was looking for.
Is
Was
it
it Greek? No, she was
Amani
looking
or
for. Kimani. No. Kimani is
Mine
mine.
is me, yeah.
No, I think Amani.
she was looking for Amani?
Yes.
Maybe it's Sarah. Sorry, so I'm sorry because
It's okay.
we started dinner and you were not you were not there at the time. I think I don't know. They told me you haven't come yet.
Oh, we came in the morning.
So there was a
No.
confusion.
Yeah, we were here from the morning.
No.
Yeah.
Sure, we came
Like
here by
from
10.
7.
Yeah, we arrived at like
At
7
10
a.m.
a.m.
But we came here by 10.
Yeah.
So when they're saying the Tanzanian group of 93,
It was not
it was not us. As we were here already. It was 10 mates and Amani.
I'm so sorry. We could have eaten lunch or dinner. I didn't at least meet in the because it was a cool day yesterday.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Sorry. But we have a date tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
We have a date.
this is the fun part, ladies. Now I have ladies. The last group was 4 men and 1 woman. Now I have ladies. Are we going to have a person online or no? Yeah. It's gonna be, and we have to. Yeah, we do it online. Might be difficult to hear because we're gonna walk around, but we're just gonna. Yeah, because it's maybe she will not be able to hear everything we say, unless we stay like that. But
Should we?
yeah.
Oh, we're going to move around the flipcharts.
So you don't fall asleep. No, you're not fall asleep, but so just to give you a little bit, maybe it is recorded, but it's recorded only for collective writing. So for Joyce and actually Pita. These are the 2 people because Joyce will be on our sessions. Today she's doing also her, but normally she will be a part of our sessions. And Pita is the doing all the reports, summaries, and all this, what I would say, boring thing. Yes. And sometimes he goes back and he has to listen backwards what was done to make notes, but he's more into he doesn't evaluate. There's no evaluation as such. It's more okay to see the progress. What am I giving as practices and stuff. So this is more for that. So it's Pita, Joyce, and myself who will have access to. I don't go back to them, never. So I just here with you on the sessions. I never listen back. But I think if you would feel like you would like to probably listen to them again or something, maybe we can ask Joyce how is it organized, because it's going to be recorded on Zoom. Maybe today it's more complicated, but once we're on Zoom, it will be So it stays in this room. Yeah. So what else I wanted to say? Coaching, because that's the. Have any of you had any coaching before or? Yeah. Yeah, some of you. So, but one of the thing that people really mix up very often, because sometimes we do both, is coaching and mentoring. So imagine like this, that when you start something new, you have a teacher that teaches you how to cook, how to cook food, Tanzanian food. I will do that. You will be my teachers. And then when I finish my course, I will start doing a little bit myself, and then come back to you with questions, and then you will become my mentor. So mentor is still giving you feedback on a particular subject. Anyone who is better than the other person in something, it can be a mentor. So you don't have to be a professor or a teacher. Just you can be my mentor in Kiswahili. You can be my mentor in Tanzania or even anything. So many subjects. So this is who is the mentor. A coach is a different stance. A coach believes that you come with your questions and we help you to find your own answers. Yeah? So I will not be giving you any advice. I will be guiding you through the process, but it's going to be your answers. It's going to be your questions and your answers. I sometimes will give you like insights, or I will offer you like my observations to help you see us, to become more self-aware, but I will not teach you anything in that sense. So the program we're going to create is going to be very much that you're going to create for yourself. And I always say, you're the bosses here. I'll guide you through the... So this is something that, because sometimes it's to set expectations, and this word coaching has been so overused in many situations, and very often it's used together with mentoring. Yeah. Yes. So this is very pure coaching. There's not going to be any. Maybe sometimes I'm going to ask you. Maybe you can read something too, so you can get some more skills or something. But it's really okay. So today there are two parts of it. We're going to first go around their questions, and this is to really get you talk about your organization, put you on the same page. You've answered many of these questions, but I really would like us to be together so you can answer them. And then we're going to end up with this session, and then we're going to move to think about the coaching topic that you were going to have. And the coaching topic is going to stay with us for the entire month, for all these months. So we're going to work on this coaching topic all these months. So it's going to be a little bit at the end when we have to craft the topic. There's a lot of we're going to go back and forth, and it's going to be a bit more difficult. But I hope you're going to enjoy the process. Yeah? Okay. So let's go. And I've noticed that, maybe I will not tell you, but there's after one question, I've noticed the last group started to sit down. So we'll see when is your moment to sit down. Yeah. So we're gonna start with this question. And so the first question is, what is the core mission of the organization, and how is it reflected in your daily operations? So looking at your day, how does this mission, shows up? Maybe we'll just start with the main mission. Maybe this will be easier.
So I'll go first, then my colleagues will supplement. So I'd say girls empowerment. That's our main goal.
Girls' environment.
Girls empowerment.
Actually, this is another. Whoever has the pen has the power.
Okay.
And you can write the way you want, so it doesn't have to be. You can be creative. Oh, that's lovely. By the way, you have a beautiful annual report. The way it's really.
And also, not so different from Mary, our main mission is to maintain girls. So provide mentorship to young adolescent girls. So whatever we do in the office, in our daily life, reflects to what core activity we're going to do for girls.
Mentorship of the girls.
Yeah. Excuse my handwriting.
You haven't seen mine. Adolescent would be, how old would they be?
12 to 17, and then we have a group of 18 to 24.
I'm gonna ask you during the lunch. You're gonna tell me.
Okay. I would also love to add that we empower girls specifically in education.
Mm-hmm.
Can you, maybe I add?
Yeah. It's amazing. What else shines through your? What wakes you up in the morning?
What makes you okay? I'd say for me, I'd say because I wakes up in the morning every day to serve a purpose because I need to offer support to the team to go and meet the purpose of GLAMI, of the organization.
So if you, I like it. So it's this thinking about my team and how to make sure they also align to this. Yeah.
I'm inspired of change. Love changes. Would love to see maybe girls' lives changes. With the vulnerable girls, with the marginalized community change. That is what puts me on.
I'll pass you that.
Okay, so basically it's all of that, but in my own words, it's one thing that really inspires me to wake up and go to work on a daily basis. What we do generally is making sure a girl doesn't.
Excuse me. Anande wants you guys to be louder.
Sorry?
Anande wants you guys to be louder. She can't hear.
Another can see us.
Can we use microphone?
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm on the other side, so maybe a bit of, yes, thank you, Tim.
Okay, maybe we can actually stand maybe closer to the microphone.
Thank you.
Okay, so what really. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Hello, this is Dominica. Nice to hear you.
Hi, Dominica.
Hello. We
This is Ananda, and I'm glad to be able to get this opportunity to participate in this session.
Wonderful. We're happy. I'm happy to have you. It's gonna be just to so you will not be because we're gonna go around the room a little bit, so it might be hard to hear us. At one point, we're gonna sit down. So just to we'll try to do our best. I'll think about it. So we maybe so we always have the microphone somehow. But we'll do our best. Okay.
Thank you.
So we're by the question around about the organizational mission, but also now there's a question about what wakes you up in the morning. What is it that gives you the energy to do the work that you're doing? Sorry.
Oh, okay. So on daily basis, we do our best to make sure one girl or all the girls that we work with are not giving up on their dreams, but also we try to work around the obstacles that might make them not to go to school or even achieve their dreams. So just knowing that my role helps achieving that mission wakes me up in the morning.
Wow. Yeah. So helping them to continue dream and take all the obstacles so they can continue dreaming.
Yeah.
Great. Shall we write it down?
Okay. What should I? Okay.
I like what you said, like have to dream and remove obstacles. And don't worry, we're not going to write any report on that. So we can write in whatever English we have in our words. So this is just for us, for this exercise.
Okay. To my side, I am just add or top up what my colleague said. That to my side, I am so exciting when see my stakeholders. The stakeholders are my employees, seeing them their well-being and how are they going to perform or transforming what we are invested to them, either through training or curriculums, to the communities. So when they are going to provide that service to the children or those beneficiaries. Yeah.
So this, the well-being of the employees.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you feel like would like to add to this part about the mission that you have, and about, how does this mission translate for you?
So basically, the question says how the mission is reflected in our daily operations.
Yeah.
So everything we do, from the executive director to the driver, is all about making sure every day we reach out to our girls. Everybody has a part to play. The drivers make sure that the mentors go to school. Mentors make sure that they have the curriculum ready. They have delivered the curriculum. They know the girls that they want to attend to that day. So from the executive director to the driver, our operations every single day is aimed to achieve that one particular girl doesn't drop out from school and is able to achieve their dreams. Yeah.
I would like that we add this sentence that you said, making sure that there is no girl that drops out of school.
Yeah.
I think this is powerful. It's a very simple but very powerful message. Lovely. Thank you. So I would like us to move on, and because now the next questions will be related, and we take this thing with us, because we're going to move to the question 3. And the question is, what are 3 core values that define your organization's culture? Can you share specific examples how these values are demonstrated in practice? So what I wanted to hear, culture is something that we're not taught. It's just you, through being with people, you learn what is in this group right and wrong. So for example, you are not taught how to be Tanzanian. There's no school about that. It's you get it from your parents and grandparents, and they teach you what does it mean. So that's why we get really difficult to, if someone asks you, can you define what does it mean to be Tanzanian? We're like, We learn it when we actually clash with something different. Then you say, yeah, now after being in Kenya, 1 year, I understand a little bit better what does it mean to be Tanzanian. But it could be the culture this is a national culture, but it could be a culture of women. There could be a culture, and in your world, for example, if you would meet an organization that does the very similar thing, working with women on the other part of the world, you will see how many things you have in common, because the culture has that. Like doctors also understand each other because there's a culture of doctors. And the way culture is manifested is through behaviors. So we don't I always like to draw an iceberg, and the values are here. They're really deeply rooted. We never talk about them, but they show up here in the visible space. So if I value being punctual, I show up on time.
Mm-hmm.
If I value women's education, I'm gonna be doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If I value, if for me it's important to nature, I'm gonna be involved something, or I can just do maybe doing recycling, or go and have collect trash from that. So this is how it shows up. So sometimes it's easier to think about the behaviors and then you trickle it down to values. So this question is about your organization. Is what are the three, probably, let's start with three, core values and how they are manifested in your behaviors. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just three.
Now it's
Okay, so should I talk about it first or just write it down? Okay, so I would say the first one would be respect. We value respect, the respect we have for the status quo, and we respect each other. So our respect has contributed to the respect to our beneficiaries, to the scholars. We respect their decisions, we respect their ideas. That is why we even incorporate what they suggest, their feedbacks, and work on them. We also respect them in a way that we do not violate their rights. We respect their rights. That is why we protect them. So at GLAMI, we practice, we speak, and we respect each other. We, even in the other stakeholders, like educational stakeholders, the parents, we respect the ideas. That is why we do monitoring. That is why we collect the feedback. What do they think about the programs? And we incorporate some of the ideas which are within our skill and work on them. Yeah. So I'd say respect is very important.
So to say, it's not just generally it's respecting ideas, decisions, and way of being, and then it shows up by asking for feedback.
Yeah.
Did you feel during our meeting that respect?
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, bring it on. You're so good in writing all of it. I should
Be a teacher. Thank you.
Yes, I have to. Here is.
Okay, another one is honest. To reflect to the question, as GLAMI, we normally be honest, and we use this called 360 feedback to the staff. So they share, and us as a GLAMI, we normally provide feedback, or we give feedback either through performance appraisal or through one-on-one session in order to improve areas which you have seen there is gap. So through that, we showcase the honest between both the employees and the same time to the beneficiaries. So wherever we have or anything that we are doing, we use maybe program, and we have mail department for assessment. So we use the team to go and get some idea or feedback from our beneficiaries.
Yeah, I love it. So it's being honest, but also a feedback culture.
Yeah.
Which also relates to that. You want to see who would be a... Okay, let me try.
Practice.
Yes. Okay, pass the power to...
Okay, the third one I'd say inspire. Yes. So as GLAMI, we do inspire our young girls by ensuring the the mentors we bring into schools are role models who can share their stories, their pathways, but who can be a good mentors to the young girls. So apart just from the team that inspires our young girls to schools, but us as leaders in the office, how do we inspire our other team of staff? Because working as a team, you're also empowering, you're also building and cultivating our future leaders, because we work with a team of different age groups from 20 to above 30s. So the younger group are looking forward to us as leaders in terms of our actions, how our tone on how we respond to issues in the office, but also how do we make decisions according to the power we hold. So we lead in a way of inspiring the younger ones to become also leaders who can set a good example.
So being a role model. Mm-hmm. Inspiring.
The one who started the bullets. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Can Ananda also online?
Yes.
Answer something?
Ananda, would you like to? Do you have something to add?
Yes, for me, it's not, I was supposed to mention one thing, but I'll say teamwork and equality and equity. So with teamwork, we realize within GLAMI that without working as a team, we can't achieve the goals. So with that note, each person, when each role or individual in the organization performing the work, we really take into consideration on how we decide things, how we involve each other in making decisions, but also your task comes on to add on my task so that we can achieve the strategic plan. But I also like about equality and equity, which says we're working on striving to cover the gap between girls and boys, and making sure that we strive or we work into gender equity, that girls should have equal opportunities as boys. So for me, those are the things that whenever we are working, whenever we are at work, I see most of that. And the question about boys over girl comes into our programs as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's beautiful. Voice of the girls. I just think it's beautiful. Thank you so much, Ananda. So I would like to ask this question a different way. When you were bringing in someone, who's the youngest in this group? Like youngest in terms of how long you've been in this group? Who came the last? You came last. So, so think about if you would do an interview with someone to bring into this group, what would this person need to like? And you would say, no, you don't fit to this group. What is it that would the person do or say that you would say, you would not fit to this group? What would it be? You would not fit to our culture. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah.
So what was it that you'd say, no, that doesn't fit to us? What was that?
So one thing about GLAMI, we are all very welcoming. So I think one thing that would set whoever is recruiting off if someone just doesn't show that, how do I put it? Someone being welcoming. I'm sure that is something you can just pick from someone at the first impression. Yeah. So that is very important for us. We love hosting. We love, our energy is always full of love and all of that. We wish for you to visit one day, and you can just pick that at a go when you're there. Yeah.
And really, this definitely shines through you. I just want to tell you that. Welcoming, I'm going to add this because I think it was beautiful. loving mention. Yeah, and you see, and you're all suddenly like, wow, that's true. So what else did you? Because I think it's very nice exercise when you think about the people that came and you've been like, no, you would not. This is not a place for you. What was that?
I'll say, maybe I'll say integrity, and that's because most of our work, we don't expect to follow you up to do it. So we expect you to hold honesty and high moral and standards. So we frequently flash that, especially in the first 3 months to 6. We quickly realizing that you're not the right fit.
Yeah. So.
And this is, I think we see it most because majority of the leaders within the organization are at the headquarters in Arusha. So we realize we rely a lot on trusting the team that they will deliver the work, even if we are not there in other regions. And I think this holds a lot for GLAMI if you are working with us.
Yeah. So high morals and trust, would you say? Or that we need to trust you? Or we trust each other? Yeah. So there's trust.
And accountability.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Hmm? Maybe it goes together, but I will write it separately because maybe there's. Nice. Anything else? Because this is.
Yeah. So, if someone comes in an interview and they don't believe in girls, because we do believe in girls, we believe that girls are capable. So, if they don't believe in girls, they are automatically off. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we believe in their potential too.
If I will believe in girls' potential.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice, lovely. There's something about this. I think that I can imagine that you just feel this thing because you're so strong in that. You just feel if this is not happening.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to know. You just need to feel it.
Yeah.
This is not to know, it's to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lovely. Okay. So we're gonna leave that one. This is beautiful, and we're gonna move on. Let's see if Ananda can. Is this can? Otherwise, we move the board. But we'll try to. And how do you know that you are a successful leader in your organization? What does it mean to be a successful leader? Is it, or every organization has different way of, could be as long as you deliver on goals.
The challenges. So let's say if enable and empower the team
Enable
to
and
grow. Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh yeah. How do you know you are a good leader in GLAMI?
Yeah, so, I would say at GLAMI, we lead by examples. We don't stay behind, we stand in front. So if we want to do something, we want to show the team that we're leading that this is how we do it, we also participate. So if it's about an activity, we also participate in that activity. So we lead from,
Lead by example.
yeah.
But also, as you mentioned, we are part of the group.
Yeah.
We're in the,
Team.
we're in the team.
Yeah.
Hmm? Would you like to write it down? There's a power in writing down.
Okay. In that, can we add maybe teamwork and collaboration?
Yeah. So you would say, as long as a leader I'm fostering teamwork
be interfered with another one, but in GLAMI leaders, we have units. Yeah, so we normally speak in one language. Sometimes, even though we have some distraction each other, but at the end we have to speak one language. So we have units.
So it's like coming to the consensus. But I mean, it's more about like making sure everybody is that what you mean? That there is the one voice. Yeah. It's a little bit about this co-creation we talk about, but it's really like
Okay, I was thinking, I don't know how can I put the two. Understanding, is it teams' feelings or emotions or teams' voices? Yeah. So trying to understand the feelings of the team. If it's being overwhelmed, as a leader, what should we do? How can we support? If it's the needs of the team, how do they respond to the needs of the team? So just trying to be maybe accommodative of team's needs and feelings.
empathetic or
Yeah.
feeling people or feeling emotional intelligence. Yeah. This is beautiful, you see? That's what we're doing. So because you spend so much time together, sometimes we don't reflect on these things. Anything else?
But then again, adding to what Ananda said on the part of trust and accountability, the ability to be sure just at heart that work is going to get done without being on the ground, because as Ananda said, most of us, we're at Arusha and we still have two more regions where people are there and work is done. The mission is being on a daily basis. Like for example, people in Morogoro, we go there on quarterly basis, but still work is done, and leaders are sure that everything is done, and there is what do we call uniformity in all the three regions.
Yeah. So it's I think it's actually trusting in your team, because people feel that also. Yeah. Because it ties to what Anna says. It's about this, or maybe you said here, enablement, empowerment. Yeah.
So also that of ensure equality as we work as a team, to ensure equality and to avoid biasness and double standard. So we treat each others equally, so that like whatever situations happens to either it's a junior staff or it's at the management, the police will take its place. So to ensure equality and avoid double standards and biasness.
Love that. Okay. That's really cool. You see how it nicely reflects to your values, how they are showing up. Anything from your side, Ananda?
Maybe I'll add in for leaders for GLAMI, someone to consider a leader should also be having the skills or the challenge to deliver what is expected. So you can be very good with a team, you can be communicating, but if you can't deliver, times we remain stuck. So taking action as a leader and delivering what is expected and going, I think proactiveness, I'll add it. Leaders are expected to go over and be creative. But also, I love what Mary said, role models to start. And this is because leaders are expected to be the ones also supporting or training the rest of the junior staff. And it's because we're recruiting our mentors fresh from university, so it's the first place where they learn about career. So being role model and doing what you're saying, you're expected to practice what you preach. So action and practicing what you preach.
Yeah, so we had it somewhere.
Trust is here.
Yeah, practice as you, what you preach, it be examples.
It'll be examples to market goals.
She also say proactiveness.
Proactiveness and deliver on promise, I think. We can add proactiveness and deliver on promise. Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you guys also think like for GLAMI, in order to be a leader, you also need to be visionary in terms of
Yeah.
you have to take time to see the future, but also take time to nurture that along the way.
Yeah. Visionary. Love that. So it's both being very visionary at the same time as thinking on how is it possible to do. Okay. Anything else you would like to add here? Thinking on that.
Okay, so I would say GLAMI leaders are very transparent. Communication is a key. So we communicate whether it's bad, whether it's good, but to keep the team updated and minimize the conflict, we communicate and we are always transparent.
Yeah. Transparency. Shall we add that? Lovely. Okay. So now we're going to move to the next question. Bring them. And that one is about your. How does your current organizational structure align with and support with your mission, goals, and strategic direction? So here's, when you think about your organizational structure, I don't know how it looks like, but do you feel that the structure you have is supporting you in what you're doing? Or you can think about the questions from the other side is, in what situations you felt that the structure you have is not supporting you? But maybe we start with if you could help me to, what is your simple org structure? Is it flat? Is it like?
Should I put everything out?
Just any symbol.
This is board of directors. Then we have the ED.
Yeah.
Then we have two directorates. This is director of programs. Then we have director of operations. Then we have managers.
It's okay.
Okay, so we have program managers for all our 3 regions. Then we have the mail manager. Then we have the grants manager. Then we have the HR. Then we have the admin. These are managers. Yes. Then from the program managers, we have the mentor coordinators, we have the social workers, we have the PR. Okay. Then from here, here we have the comms coordinator. Then we have the assistant admin manager. Then we have the mentors. Then we have the outreach social workers. Am I missing someone here?
Alumni.
Alumni coordinator. Then we have the male coordinator. Then we have, am I missing someone from this side. The program associate and a card. Okay, we have someone called program associates. Then we have the office person and the drivers.
So the ones who are working on the ground, yeah, these ones. And you are
Yes.
like your team is.
This is you, the team.
Okay, this is you.
Yes. This is Veronica.
Yeah.
This is Mirema. This is Gloria, and this is Anande.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you look at this structure and you think about all the things that are happening here, because this is where the girls are. Was there any situation that you felt that there was something because of this structure that was slowing you down or making it impossible to deliver, to help the girl, as you say, making sure that there's no girl left out? I love that design. Okay.
So currently, this position first is not covered. This is empty, and this is the grants person. That is a very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is not covered yet. It might be. It might have slowed us at a certain point because maybe someone who is currently doing these tasks would have had a lower load at the moment. So maybe that, or maybe we could have gotten more funds, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so basically maybe on that part. But you see, our strategic plan is 2022 to 2026. We just restructured this organizational structure. We're still working on everything. Maybe after our final review of the strategic plan, maybe we could see something that has slowed us down. Just thinking of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And currently, this person is not, program associate is not in the.
Yeah, that is not on the structure, the same to office assistant.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're working.
You're changing. Yeah.
Yes, because we're also working on the strategic plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you look from the perspective of decision making, do you feel that the structure is helping you to take decisions? Is it like you feel like the decisions are at the moment you need them, or is there something slowing down here in decision making?
On my end, I think we're doing fine.
Yeah. That's great.
I think we're doing fine. I don't know. I think everything is okay because there's a channel and it doesn't slow anything down. It makes easy decisions. I don't know about you, my dears.
Okay, so I'd say things are working, but sometimes due to the structure might lead to low responses to some of the decisions. For instance, there at the top is the board of directors. So when it comes, let's say, to policies, upgrading policies, we have to write proposals to be taken to board of directors for approvals. Let's say, for example, we were speaking on the employees, because when reaching the girls, we also need to satisfy stakeholders who are also employees. Employees are part of the stakeholders. As we are satisfying our stakeholders, also employees are also part of the stakeholders. So ensuring their welfare, they propose, let's say, the organization to have a separate pocket or funding for covering staff, Majanga, what is it called? What is it called?
Staff uncertainties.
For covering staff uncertainties. Let's say when it happens, a mentor has experienced floods. She was staying in a place and then floods just took everything that she had. So she can't come to the office, she can't go to the girls. So they were suggesting if an organization can have a pocket where it can support some of the things that staff face for uncertainties. But now, because it's not part of the police, it's not identified within our police that like what are the procedures to take. So we can't make decision on our own until we HR to let's say a proposal, and then we take to the board of directors.
Right.
So I'd say things happens, but due to the structure, there are things that we can't make decisions on our own. We don't have the power to finalize things when staff says this, and they trust us as leaders. They trust when take this to our leaders, it can be implementable, or they will find a way. So sometimes it's hard to come back to them when things are delaying. A year has passed to like so to say like we have not yet taken to the board, or the board have not yet approved. So sometimes it's challenging to get back to the team and say we have to wait. We are waiting for the board to approve. So I'd say it leads to low responses.
So here it goes fast, but then when you need to go through here, maybe it takes bigger question. Okay, thank you. We will leave that one because it feels like here you are. I think there are more interesting questions. So we're going to move now. We're going to come back to the second one, but maybe I'll just bring it here so we don't have to move the whole thing. We're going to move to another. Oh, you can stay. You can, yeah, you can leave it there. You can have this one. From completely other perspective is about your goals and strategic objectives for this year. So if you would need to think about your 3 key things that you would like to accomplish in 2025 as an organization, what are those things? Yeah, this is
Okay.
exactly. 25, of course. Yes. What would it be? What are your? Probably have written it somewhere. But yeah, so we just want to. What is the main goal you have for this year?
So we are currently scaling to other schools to reach more girls, along with sustainability through implementation of teacher mentor program. Teachers who are in the schools instead of program mentors who comes from the office, if you understand. So we're currently aiming adding more schools with the teacher mentor because of the sustainability, so that other mentors, program mentors could maybe scale to other schools and reach more girls.
So implementing the schools.
Yeah, program to be implemented, to be owned.
To be owned by the school.
Yeah,
Okay.
like an extension plan.
Okay. Fair enough.
So it's piloting. So we are piloting some of the initiatives for sustainability.
Okay. So it's sustain. So complete the pilot or piloting the sustainable. Or how do you call it? To have the program. Yeah, to keep the program sustainable or yeah.
Also along with that, I think apart from teacher mentor, we are thinking of introducing peer-to-peer mentorship.
Yeah.
So that the girls can mentor each other instead of a program mentor going there. Yeah.
So program sustainability right now we are piloting teacher mentor, and then and peer-to-peer.
Lovely.
Peer-to-peer membership. targets. For this year 2025, we have a target of enrolling new girls of around 4,000 to our program. 2,000 from form and form 4 and 2,000 girls, 4,000 from.
How many you are in the organization?
77.
But still, to support them. But, and you say you, right?
Yeah, new girls, new cohort.
So I think in other side part we can say that we have planned to improve the stakeholders' competence and motivation. Yeah, due to this, let's say in the stakeholders in the side of employees, we are training our level base to improve or to motivate them so that to retain. Yeah, so most of the motivation we are starting or we are thinking to introduce stuff for health insurance, also to maybe to provide baby bonus to the team. Yeah, so to and also for the competence we are investing in training our team so that they have more knowledge to go to showcase to their beneficiaries.
It's motivating.
Competence and
Team
motivation.
And
Yeah.
competence.
The motivation and competence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another thing, one of the challenge we have been experiencing is tracking the program alumni, alumni who have gone through our program. So we wanted to know their whereabouts, how far they have reached with the, what they have been taught in our programs. So we are currently working on the database and the way we can track them so that we can know and track the impact because we are in the process of tracking impact right now. Yeah, it has been 10 years, so I think it's time for impact.
So you've been operating as long as 10 years?
More than 10 years.
Great. I'm impressed by this number. No, really, it's impressive. Okay. This feels like you also have wonderful, it went fast for you, and there's clear. So you have a clear idea of what's ahead of you. That's great. So now we're gonna move to I would say maybe more difficult, maybe not.
Motivating team how?
Motivated team.
Yes.
Maybe both, maybe motivating and motivated.
They're motivated, they're self-driven to make sure they achieve our daily goals.
We just keep recruiting cohorts. We keep recruiting cohorts every year, and we are consistent. It's not like today we are phasing out and tomorrow we are starting again. It has been progressive for the past 15 years. It's been progressive. I also would speak of the uniqueness, our uniqueness. Our curriculum is very unique. They have tried and tested and researched it with other organizations, and they all have something to say about our curriculum. Even the Tanzanian, I don't know, Thai. So Tanzanian
Education Center.
Tell me,
Tanzania Institute of Education.
yeah. So they also think that our curriculum is very packed and very unique. So I think that is what keeps us away from our competitors.
But also, we're a learning organization. We're always open to learning. That's why we sit down, we reflect, we replan, and we do, yes.
also I think we have a good communication. Sure.
Both internally and externally, yes.
Hi, Anande.
Hi.
Wait, maybe let's check with her with the. So, I remember this name. What? Yeah. Tell us a little bit. What do you see as this gift or strength of GLAMI?
I'll say resilience and creativity.
Resilience and creativity.
Yeah. And this comes from sometimes we encounter challenges and the team come up with solutions that if you involve them, they'll come up with different ideas that we have not thought about. But also through the challenges, coming together and knowing that we'll bounce back and move ahead. And I think we have witnessed that a lot last year. Understanding that policies, they are requested, for example, from the team on certain policies to be changed. However, maybe there was a challenge on the budget yet that we can't do it that year. But they were still persistent and willing to work with the little we have and to make sure that we do not sabotage the quality of the programs we're delivering. But also when it comes to, for example, from the organic program, we have had a lot of turnover of staff, for example, in the junior level, that sometimes it takes the organization more effort, more money to invest in training the staff so that they can come and provide a good quality to the team, to the girls, despite the fact that after 1 year or 2 years, they move to another organization. Still, GLAMI maintains the status, the high standards and morals within our programs and within the team. So I think I would say the resilience, the creativity, but also the patience. And that has been holding GLAMI throughout.
Yeah. Thank you. I've added high standards and morals. I wanted to ask you because, I mean, when you gave me the number, and I was like, there's a lot of these girls who are trusting you. And what is it in you that they are trusting? Because they trust you. But there must be something that the way you show up, what you do, is that they trust you and they join your program. What is that?
Okay, the scholars numbers.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so me I would say.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Would you like? Yeah. Go ahead, Ananda.
Okay, I would say it's from the word go. We as GLAMI are GLAMI staff, whoever you're either on the field or not, you have to be a role model. You have to be the believer of girls are capable, girls are willing, need to be given equal opportunities, and live to show the leadership. So from how we dress, from how we speak, from how we make girls' voices to be heard and providing opportunities, that has been the core part of us, okay?
So I can give you an example about, like, as she said, how we dress, how we speak. So when you speak to the girls, when you go maybe for the baseline data collection and you ask them, like, what motivated you to join the program? They will always say, I love the way they came, the way they dressed, the way they were speaking. It's really inspired me. I would want to be a mentor one day. So some of them never even knew about the mentorship before, but we inspire them and they even wish to be mentors or to be like program staff that they can always go. But to also add up on that, I would speak of we are all bounded by passion. Like the staff are passionate. We share the passion. Yeah. Okay.
Great.
I don't know if it's a teamwork or passion.
Yeah, you can just add at the end passion to it. Passionate to it. And this is for us to, oh,
Passionate. Teamwork.
lovely. This is beautiful, because this is all the things that sometimes we forget about, you know, on the individual level, it's much easier to find what doesn't work in us than what works for us, what we're good at. So I want you to, take a snapshot and really we're great. Ladies, you're great, and the numbers also speak to it. So this is, just remember about this. So the day when you feel like, just go back to this chart and say, yeah, no, we are great. But we are here so moving on to the next board. And just feel free. Sorry?
She knows it's not easy.
Yeah. No worries. This is, as long as you can hear us, we're good. But now we're going to take it even further, this thing. So this is the point the team started sitting.
Now we understand.
I'm going to move it a little bit because so we're closer to the mic, yeah. Because now we're going to do that. So, ladies, you are doing a lot of great things. And if you think about what is it in the things that you need to do, what is it that you feel like are the areas that you would like to, develop or grow? So we want to make sure that we don't talk about the weaknesses, because it's not about the weakness. Mm-hmm. It's what is it that you would like to do better. So I'm going to help you with the structure, or we. We would like to be better at so that. So it's a structure that just to help you. But and here's it's not about if you would say I would like to become the president of Tanzania. I would say, so what is it that you need to develop in you to become this president of Tanzania? Yeah? Do you need to be a better communicator? What do you need to be speaker? But look at your challenges that you face today. And from the most important challenges, think about to achieve that challenge that is facing you. What is it that you as an organization you would like to be better at, or as a team? What would that be? As a team.
As a team.
Yes, now we're actually, because the transformation plan would be about the organization, but now we're about you, this group of 5. What is it that you would like to be better at, and what would you like to achieve with that? What would that be?
I don't know if I've understood the question, but I think in leadership style or the leadership system, as a team, we have to build a strong, or the one which everyone we can be able to more in collaboration. So, but in the area of leadership, I think we have to invest either through trainings of leadership, so that to continue developing those areas in supporting the team as well.
So something that your goal would be to
be a better support system.
to support your leaders better. Yeah.
I think the sentence could be to keep supporting, because we have been supported a lot. We have been having a lot of trainings. So maybe I would say to keep supporting, but I will say that we need more trainings to keep.
And if you achieve that, if you support your leaders, why is this topic so important for you today?
So we're few. I mean, the leaders in the organization are few compared to the bigger team. Being able to support the leaders, giving them trainings and capacitating them, creates a more safer and conducive environment for the subordinates. I don't want to use that word for the bigger team.
So this will be, and when you say leaders, you talk about the sort of middle leaders, like the ones that are the leaders of on the ground.
I'm speaking about from the ED to the managers area.
Just so we know these ones, right?
No, those are not the leaders.
These ones.
Yes.
Okay. So you would like to support, but you are the managers.
Yeah. So what she was saying was leaders should get more capacitation and trainings because they're the key. They're very few in number, but they're the ones that are the biggest support team. The other team members all depend on the
leaders.
Yes. So if they are capacitated, would like to be better at training, capacitating leaders so that they can become the better support system of the entire organization.
Yeah. Sorry, it's okay.
Yeah.
But
What was the question again? I'm trying to. I think I've
yeah, you were lost. I think we have to. Yeah, I was thinking. I have to. Maybe. Maybe we start from the. So what I understand is that you're today the thing that you would like to achieve is to support the leaders. Yeah, so they can become the better support system for the people on the ground. Yeah.
But do I think I hear it, can we be more specific maybe? Support on what? Is it on the communication? Is it on the, strategic thinking on the programs? Is it the people management? Because
Yeah. So I think we are not. Go ahead, Aman.
I said I feel like support is just one word, but then I think now that we're pinning down, we can be as specific as we want.
Yeah, exactly. So this is very loud, but I think it's still because I wanted to. You are the leaders.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you cannot support yourself. Like yeah, you can, but like you know what I mean. Like it has to be. Like what is it that you would like to be better at? Something that you will be better at, so you can achieve the goal that you need. So maybe
for me,
could it be?
I would say it could be on the strategic vision of the organization. That every leader to know where we are heading and thinking on how we are heading there, but also on the communication part of it. And I'm saying this because we are, as the nature of GLAMI, if we've experienced one leader has stepped out, then it took a while for us to bounce back. And leading with that.
So you would like to be better in communication.
Sure.
And communication to the to your staff or to your leaders, or generally in communication.
To my side, I was thinking I was in the area of leaders.
Yeah. So we would like to be better at or in communication so that we can better, and we can better, and we wanted to a little bit expand the word support. In what way support our leaders? Or it's just it's all support. We would like to be better in communication so that we can better support our leaders. What would you like to, if you would be better in communication, what would this allow you? What would happen then?
So I think it took a time. Like we're now speaking on something different than just supporting. We're now breaking support. So we'd like to be better in communication so that we can better our daily operations. That is one. Because if one leader stepped out and it took us a while to bounce back, it means there were some things that didn't go in the same pace when the leader was around. So that is all about operations. So we'd like to be better in communication so that we can better our daily operations in case of anything. Because if there's good communication among the leaders, it means anyone can chip in when someone else is not around, and things can just move as they're supposed to go. So I am not sure if that's what Ananda meant. I'm just trying to pick from communication.
So is it like maybe cross leaders communication, or is it? Because we're talking about communication across leaders, right? Or also to everyone.
Maybe for leaders, I don't know. For leaders, because us we're the leader here. If we are making our communication better among ourselves, is in order to be in the same page, to be in the same loop, to avoid misconceptions. I don't know if we had agreed, maybe let's say on something, and had discussed something, to give feedback. So I don't know.
It's good.
Yeah.
To add up on what Tori said, we'd like to be better at communication so that we can better support the team.
Yeah. Support the team. And now we're talking about, so we would like to be better in communication among this group. Exactly. So I'm gonna just write it down so we understand. How do you spell among?
Yes.
Between us. So we would like to be better in communication between us so that we can support, so that we can, maybe we'll find better words after.
Because we believe there have been gaps.
Like delays of information sometimes.
And it's something that we're working on.
Yeah, and so what has this caused? Like these delays, and what was the impact on your overall? As we always all going back to the communities, in what way has this impact your girls?
Sometimes delaying decision making, implementation, not completely
Stopping.
yes, but just delay.
So actually the reason is, I mean, could be something around the operations, but you used the word, I can't remember now. Yeah, but the bigger word, like if we're gonna, if we're gonna be better in communicating, it's important right now because we don't want to lose the pace, right? Or you prepare for just making sure that we are always, because as you say, if something happened, it took time you did come back, but it took some time, right? So it's to, I don't know, I'm gonna, you just, for the moment I write, keep the pace, yeah. And respond to what you're like, yeah. Keep the pace and, yeah. And I will write here deliver and promise, because I think when we write this, it's connecting to your values that you have. But this is very important thing. That to keep the pace and so yeah. Go ahead.
I had a thought. Why should we put something like a succession plan on leadership or leadership team, like creating a succession plan? Can that come into that question as something that we can anticipate? Would like to do?
So the reason we want to do it is to remember that
That's another point.
yeah, it could actually be
The same. No.
yeah.
It's another point.
It's another
Communication is another thing, and we have started with another question. Succession plan would like to be better in succession planning, especially for the leaders, so that whenever someone walks out, it won't take long.
Okay, so we have another track. Let's see. We'd like to be better in succession planning, so that
We can avoid the gaps when someone walks out.
we can avoid the gaps when someone. When someone leaves. So which one is more like? I mean, we can somehow combine it. It's both. So we would like to better in communication between us, and drafting or creating succession plan. But the succession plan it's an action. You see, where we can have it as a to do. There's nothing that you have to develop. It could be a part of, because if you come back, I think if we go back from the why, which is the outcome, right? This is what we want to achieve, is how do we make sure that we, as we keep the pace and we deliver and promise to the girls. I'm going to put the girls because I think that, because this is powerful. So you have noticed that recently that in some way, we need to, which one of these is too important? Is it more important, like better to support the teams, or is it that the reason is actually to fill in the gaps? Which of these two reasons we have? Because we have 1 and 2, and here we have 1 and 2. Better so that we can better. I'm going to write it down. I think there's something that we can combine somehow. To be better in communication between you, so that we can is that we want to avoid people leaving, or we want to be prepared when people leave? Prepared. Yeah. So that we can be better. Sorry?
I said I see 2 points. So we want to have better communication so that we can support the team, but also creating it. I think that's, as you're saying, it's an action, creating our succession plan so that we can making sure that the team moves ahead.
Exactly. So we're going to take away the action, because this is an action. Yeah, it's not developmental in its way. So we now, I think we have to figure out, we would like to be better in communication between us, so that, and the reason, I don't know yet, so that, we have to think about that. And the reason for it is we want to keep the pace and deliver on promise to the girls. I think this is so clear. Yeah? But in what way better communication will help us in keeping the pace? What will happen if you would be better, if you would communicate better?
Okay, so I would say there will be timely decision making. If it was about approving the scholar, maybe the mentors to go to school, then that will be timely done and to be delivered on time at schools. And
I think there's something around this. You're all very like sort of worried, and your concern has been, like, from I hear from you, the part about being prepared when someone leaves. So this communication is that, how do we secure that we have all in place? Maybe sharing the among. I think that's bigger than communication. It's also to cross-train each other. Is that what you're? How does the communication? But what will happen if you have this better communication? How this better communication will allow you to keep the pace and deliver on promise?
I will say, maybe just to add, that the communication can help within our team, within the leaders, knowing exactly that they're not burning out.
Okay.
And not carrying much weight than the leaders, than their top leaders not knowing. And knowing where we can support. For example, I knowing where I can support my leaders. And that way, they can deliver at the right time with very high quality, with good quality, and at the same time they won't run out and their well-being is fine.
Yeah. So there is this well-being, actually. Yeah. So the communication, what you need the communication for is to understand that you can communicate when you need help, when you feel like, as Amanda says, when you are, reaching the point of burnout. So it's really, we would like to be better in communication between us, so that we can better support each other in our teams. Yeah?
I would say that, but also like for the team for the managers and leaders, like for the leaders to feel their belonging into the leadership, and it's not up to the ED or up to the director of programs. Rather, it's for the leaders, as long as you're a leader within GLAMI, to be able to pave the way as well.
So support each other and they pave the way. It links to this being a role model a little bit, right? Is this Nanda, what you're saying is also to, because you've mentioned that your strength is being the role model. So it's quite a big, like being a role model. It's a big thing. The way you show up every day. It's like I'm showing up in front of the girls, and I'm the strong one, and I can, but we're also humans. Yeah. So it's like, so maybe this thing will allow you to, like, I'm thinking about support each other, but also like to be, there's something about this role modeling, so we can, you know, be their own model, or keep on being, or be, like, yeah, I have to think about this, how we can frame it. This is tricky. So this is but there's something. Okay, we want to be better. Let's write it down. This is we have this one. If we write it down, we're just gonna write like this. Be better in communication among us, so that
So I think we have different points there.
yeah.
And we can just link the entire sentence. And maybe it could be, would like to be better in communication among us first, so that we can be able to support the entire team, which includes us too, because we need to support each other, then be able to support the entire team, while keeping the same pace and deliver on promise to the girls and to all the stakeholders. We could put it to all our stakeholders.
Yeah. Girls. And our stakeholders. Okay, I think we got it now. Yeah. To be better in communication among us, so that we can support the entire team, so we can better support the entire team and each other.
While keeping the pace and delivering on promise to all our stakeholders.
But I will keep it out because I'll keep it as a why. The reason why this topic is so important is because we want to keep the pace. So it's going to be included in the program, but it's just it's just the why of the topic.
Right.
Okay, so we're halfway through. See, but this is the most difficult part. I promise you. Be better in communication among us, so that we can better support the entire team and each other. And now, so what have you tried so far? What if you look now, you know, what has been I'm sorry, I need to get So if you think about, how have you been approaching this topic today? How have you been? Yeah? How do you communicate? What have you tried to? Yeah, how you have been communicating today and trying to achieve that?
I'd say we have tried to ensure proper channels and chain, like the team to use proper channels and chain of communication, so that the message comes from the right person or reaches the right person. So if it's channels of communication, what proper tools do we use to communicate? If it's email, so that it reaches the responsible person who has to act upon, so that we avoid, as they say, delays for other team to reach the girls. But also the chain of communication. Who communicates to who and at what time? So for instance, if it's, let's say Alpha is the admin and finance manager, and then we have the mentor who goes to school. So
So to use the proper chain, and not going direct to alpha, but going direct to the supervisors, so that she can receive or she can get service at the right time. So, and say that is what we're trying to do right now.
But if we come back to the communication among you, right?
Among us.
Yeah, because the topic is about you. So the communication you've been mentioning now is it's the communication that goes.
Not the title. Okay.
Yeah.
Among us.
Yeah. So how have you been approaching the communication in your team here? How are you communicating? Do you have any? Do you meet? Often, how do you meet? How do you share information? How do you do that today? Is it formal, informal, or how does it work today?
Okay. So I would say we normally have the leads meeting, and we also have the managers meeting once in every 2 weeks. And apart from that, there's always a room for checking. Let's say we program managers meet for checking with the director of the program. There's also one-on-one session for check-ins regularly. One-on-one, yeah.
So there are check-ins. You say one-on-one.
One-on-ones, but we also have like managers check-in with the director of the program or director of operations.
Yeah. So
The
you have.
directors.
So you have one-to-one with each other like this.
No.
Now with.
That's different. Yeah, there are times there's one-on-one, let's say me with director.
Yeah.
So we sometimes have such check-ins.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's you and Ananda. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Her and me and the supervisor. Director of program.
Other. Okay, so it's check-ins with you and okay. And this is regular, is that or irregular?
It's regular.
Regular.
We have every Tuesday, I guess.
Every week.
In a month. Like once in a month. Yeah.
And so how would you like to have it in the future? Or maybe like what do you feel like what sort of and despite the practices, because this is very like how this happened, but sorry. How would you like to have the communication in the future?
So on what is said there, it's only for the programs side, like the link between the two directorates. That's where the gap begins. Like
So you mean this one? These two?
yes. So the director of operations and director of programs could be having check-ins and so on, but the connection between the managers from this side to this side, that's where the gap happens.
Yeah.
Yes. So if we could have, yes, there are meetings that both sides meet, but if there could be more initiatives, whatever is happening on this side could happen more for both sides when both sides are together, because each side does whatever they do on their best level. That's why bridging gaps in your
So this is director of operation and this is director of.
No, that's director of operations.
Oh, this is operations.
Yes.
And this is programs.
Yes.
You are all from that side, right?
No.
No, we have an HR here, right?
And finance.
So we have else? Yeah, and who else?
Male manager. Male.
Okay. And this person is it's open, or is there someone?
There's someone.
Okay. So now we are seeing that so the communication is really among these two sides, and also within this two sides, right? So if you would have to dream, and you would say the perfect way of how this communication flow, what does show up for you? How do you see this good communication? How does this good communication show up between you? How do you see that?
Sorry, would you kindly repeat the...
So this is what you're trying today, and you're noticing that there are some gaps. It doesn't support you. There's something missing in that. So despite that you have, some regular and structured, there's something that is missing for you. So what is it that is missing today, you feel? What is missing today that you would like to see in the future?
Okay, so I'll speak of me.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, with it's working with the arrangement, but as Alpha said, maybe in the future, we should maybe cross-cut, I guess, between the two directorates, the director of program and director of operation, because we are all working together. Directorate of programs is to support the directorate of, the directorate of operation is to support the work of directorate of program. So I think if we regularly meet and participate in the program activities, I think there's going to be a better sentence again.
So it's maybe to connect director of programs and operations. But so if we did that, if we connect them and we connect these two groups, because they're just representing these two groups, how would it feel? Like if you imagine it, like how would this communication flow, and how would you talk to each other or see each other, differently from today?
I don't know, because currently director of programs and director of operations meet together with the executive director.
Mm-hmm.
So like we don't have a specific check-in or meeting. It's not formal arrangements, but when it comes to you need a quick support, you need to share a quick feedback for support from the director of operations, you could reach out to her. But having like a formal and scheduled meeting between director of operations and director of programs, we don't have that. But we have like a check-in now, director of programs and director of operations with the executive director. So trying to share what is on the program side as I represent the program, and the director of operations will also share what is on the operation side, because she represents the operation side. So now there maybe now the process of giving feedback to the other team will lead, because I'm just trying to understand now director of program and director of operations, because we combine together with the executive director to
So what you say is that today the sort of the way you communicate is you are always three of you.
Yes.
Yeah. And so if it's whatever.
So we have the three of us, and the executive director has time just with the director of programs, and she'll have only time with the director of operations, but there's a time with the three of us.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Maybe to mention that and how we can reach between the two directorates. So we try to minimize meetings as possible because also the directors of program and operation meet with the people who are in the community on the ground. So once a month, all three directors are meeting to process what we expect in next month. However, we have, like, the executive director have twice a month meeting with each directorate to check in how can she support the director. So I will meet, for example, Lori twice a month, but at the same time, I'll join the two at the end of each month. But at the same time, I think, Gloria, previously you were having the meeting with Monica on circumstances where you are experiencing challenges or you want some support. And I think because of our system of communication, we believe once the directors come into agreement, each director based on their area will communicate that. What we have tried right now, for example, in operations directory, is to be sending for example, one email from HR to the entire team so that they're aware what is going on. But also from we're working on the admin and finance on how we can create communication from the admin and finance and to the program, because that is the most active line. So by including, for example, Alpha in WhatsApp, groups on programs, but also Alpha participating once a month in program and program meetings, program managers and director meetings. So for me, I'll say being able to provide feedback to constructive and honest feedback to each other in communication, because sometimes someone will say, okay, I agree with this, and then you realize later on they do not agree with it, and they maybe it's the environment that we need to improve on people providing that feedback. I think we spoke today on the power, the active power and the informal and formal power, knowing that as well, because we're also experiencing that within the managers and the teams. How do we also communicate between ourselves and to the teams? And just being honest and professional. I know we're professional, just open. I think creating more open environment for us management team to be able to conversate between the two directorates. So I think it's more of the system is there, the honesty, the trust, or the environment around to share openly the thoughts around.
Yeah, thank you so much. So it's really, as you say, the systems are in place, but what would you like to achieve, and you see in the future, is to have much more, I would say safe in terms of there's more, but it's open environment in a sense. It's more open. It's more open for feedback. It's a safer space to share, because we need to have a safe space to share stuff, to give feedback. So how do we? So today, despite the structures, we're missing these opportunities that we would like to have a communication that we can really give each other feedback, be more honest, be more open. Yeah. Maybe it is a little bit more. I mean, you've mentioned the trust is, but maybe even more. We talk about, in our world, we talk about psychological safety. Is that creating a space where people feel that it's okay to fail, when I can be vulnerable. I can say, yeah, I'm not doing well today. Because as you say, the role modeling, it's such a strong value, and you need to have a shared a space where you can say, I'm not doing well today. What I have done has not worked as I expected, and feeling that it's okay to say it in the space where you are, and also feeling that the space is supporting me in this. So it's not judging me, it's supporting me. Yeah. Which I'm not saying it is today, but as we say, we're talking about being better. It doesn't mean that you don't have it. But you have felt through the conversations today that if we're going to be better in having much more open environment, much more psychologically safe environment, if we can be more vulnerable, we're going to be better in supporting each other.
I would really like to know how I can support my team. It really hurts me to know someone is carrying a lot of work that was not able to share that she's dealing with that, or something happens without knowing how, because I could have created a system or an environment that can support and ease in the role. So maybe it's to be able to create and ask maybe better questions, and that's me asking myself. That's me being perfectionist. Being type 1 maybe, just thinking of that.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna have another. I think as I remember from the program, we're gonna have you and me. We're gonna have separate 2 sessions. I think this year we have introduced in the program that we felt that it would be that we have team coaching, but there will be also, I think I'm gonna check in with Joyce, but I am almost sure that there are 1 or 2 sessions you and me we have together. Yeah, with the leaders of the organization that we're coaching, so we can look through your Enneagram and a little bit, yeah. So this is also a part of it, like, because these are, and I love that you're asking this question, because it means you're a caring leader. It's how can I support you? But there's also in this group, when we're going to be coaching, it's also how we can support each other. Like how can I support, yeah? And the leader is one of the I's, but it's also how can each of you support each of you? Look at that. So let's just try to see where we are. And I'll tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. But, so what we come up with, this is always a messy page, and I should have to. But we, as the management team, we would like to be better in communication among us, so that we can better support the entire team and each other. And the reason why we want that is we want to keep the pace of the organization and deliver on promise to the girls and our stakeholders. And you've mentioned that the way you would like to see it in the future is really much more open and safe space. So we're going to refine it tomorrow much more, but for today, Does it feel like it's good for now? Yeah? Okay. So what's gonna happen tomorrow is I'm gonna do my magic, and it's not that I am but it's really the way we do is we take you in from from seeing how you talk to each other, who you are, what you've told me, what I've listened to you, and I'm gonna draft a coaching program, and the coaching program is I'm gonna offer you metaphors tomorrow. This is the fun. This is my creative part. So you're gonna receive 2 metaphors, and one metaphor is which we call current way, and the metaphor for the new way. And the metaphor for current way is a metaphor of how you approach this topic today. And the new way is the metaphor how you could approach this topic in the future, so that it could support you in achieving what you really want to do. So this is how and then we draft developmental objectives and stuff. But this is, so all the teams, when you're gonna be, now it sounds very weird, the newer current way, new way, but you will notice that from tomorrow on, everybody will be talking about what's your new way, what's your current way, because they are metaphors. So it's and it's very. So I'm gonna offer this to you, and then tomorrow we're gonna together see. Maybe you will say, no, it doesn't fit to us, Dominica. You gave us a metaphor for dolphin. I don't want to be a dolphin. I gave us a metaphor to. I was coaching a woman in Uganda, and I gave her a metaphor of a baobab tree. There's also an adjective to it, but she says to me, Dominica, I've never seen baobab tree in my life. I have to find another tree. Exactly. She says, we don't have baobab trees, you have to go to Mali. So it was something like that, but it's also, the metaphor is so personal that it has to fit you. So what we do tomorrow is I come up with something, but usually we dance around and we find something that you feel like, yeah, this is really working for me. So just to give you a glimpse, what could be a metaphor, I think one of the metaphors I got myself was like curious dolphin. So it's an adjective and a something. So thank you so much, Lizzie. I know it's late and it's 7:30, so now it's time for dinner time. Woo! You made it. Good job. Good job. Thank you.
This was fun.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, we did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was nice to hear. It was really great too. But honestly, like you don't even have to say a word. When I saw you there, even if I have to pick, like, this is like, and the way you speak is like, if I have to pick an adjective, would be, caring. Like this is that, and it's like you have it in you. So it's like, and I just spoke in 30 seconds with you. From the way you are, and the way you speak, the voice, the tone of the voice, it was caring. And then you walk me through this, and I still have the caring. So I think this is it shines through. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow, and it's just the beginning. Thank you so much for being online. Are you still alive there on the other side? Yeah? You're still here? Thank you so. No, it was great having you here, and even though we could hear you well, and it's said you could not be with us, but it's great having you also, even online. And thank you for all the insights. And tomorrow it's also fun. The offer is also, so I hope you will be able to join us for the offer, Ananda.
For the evening session, right?
Let me see. So I think I'll check. So the offers are, it's in the afternoon, and I think Thank you. Bye.